Teardown was a great game, and it's still a great game today, but then that begs the question, why is nobody playing it? Well, let's get into it. Teardown was released as early access on October 29th, 2020 by Tuxedo Labs. The premise of the game is a fully destructible voxel world where everything has the ability to be altered or destroyed. The flagship of this game was its realism, both in its inherent post-processing as well as its realistic physics. Dennis Gustafson, the lead designer of the game, has split the main campaign into two parts until its full release in 2022. The campaign itself, put it simply, consisted of using strategic placements of targets, forcing you to manipulate the environment in order to retrieve them and leave all in under a minute. It had garnered hype for months before its initial release, with many speculating what it had to offer. Some were concerned about the campaign story and its progression throughout the game. However, most were excited to see something that gave free rein to the player in how they could complete a mission. This freedom of choice and power in-game can only be comparable to a select few games. However, what set this apart from those was the fact that there was actual strategy needed to complete a mission. Now, pause right there. Of course every game needs some sort of strategy, right? Well, this took it to the next level. First, let's talk a little bit about the campaign and why it perfects strategy so well. In the campaign, you start as Mr. No-Named Nobody in a remote warehouse in the middle of nowhere. You're placed into a situation where you're in grave need for money until an opportunity arises. This opportunity is supposedly innocent behind its reasoning, but inevitably you find out that it's morally wrong in its purpose. Shortly after, you start to get multiple other emails from various other people asking for your demolishing talents in order to backstab others for their personal gain. After multiple back and forth assignments, you find out that you're actually doing business on both sides, in which each subsequent mission is in retaliation to the previous. This inevitably escalates until you're working for multiple people for various different reasons with one sole purpose: destruction. Okay, and maybe recollection, but that's really its own thing. Whether that be destroying buildings flat or throwing safes into the oceans, you're a machine that can't be stopped and can only be fed off your hunger to break, crash, tear down anything and everything. Now normally this is quite a bit of fun on its own, but how does this qualify for its own game? Well, this is how. The game has over 10 maps that are fully designed down to the last detail. Every single block has its own reflection, weight, destructibility, and flammability, all that coincide one larger build. Each mission usually requires you to destroy or retrieve information scattered all across the map, which seems easy, right? Except here's the catch. On most missions, once you complete one target, you have a 60-second timer that starts in which you must immediately retrieve the rest of the targets with the remaining time. Now the problem arises with the fact that it's simply impossible to get the targets within the time, right? Well, this is where the ingenious implementation of strategy occurs in a fully destructible world. You find the best route, you break walls, you make runways with planks, you collect stolen items worth money on the way, you use cars to traverse faster between targets, you use explosives to level houses, you practice, you optimize, you repeat. You eventually unlock new weapons, you upgrade old ones, you upgrade your warehouse, you become unstoppable. You're a money-making machine. Buy ammo here, buy gadgets there, take missions here, retaliate there. You're unstoppable. There's no direct solution to any map except you. You can take as long or little time as you want, but you're a man of your own work. You are unstoppable. And then it's over. You beat the game. Game over, right? Well, yeah, but also no. After beating the campaign, the game continues to offer new content for you to enjoy. There's a free DLC which adds a short mini-campaign in an entirely new map and environment. There's thousands and thousands of public mods uploaded to the Steam Workshop, as well as custom maps that are featured in-game. Not to mention the sandbox mode, which allows you to do absolutely whatever you want in whatever shape or form. You really won't be getting bored anytime soon. I've already put over 50 hours into the game, with over half of it just playing with its creative bounds. This game is a perfect concoction of strategy and fun. So then, why is nobody playing it anymore? Well, technically Teardown isn't completely dead, but it's very close to it in comparison from previous months. Unfortunately, in July of 2022, Tuxedo Labs, the company that designed Teardown, was bought by Saber Interactive. There was mixed criticism with this decision because at this point, Teardown was at its highest peak of all time. It was rated overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It had a full flood of community of modders and content creators, and the game gave what the people wanted. However, this would quickly change as the hands of the game slowly shifted ownership. Teardown's constant updates and improvements began to slow down. Content was still published while the transition would occur, but it didn't feel the same. In early 2023, the base price of the game was raised from $19.99 to $29.99, which, for all of the content of the game, still isn't a terrible price. However, suspicions would arise as less communication and enthusiasm came from the game. The full criticism would actually occur in November of 2023. Saber Interaction released the start of 4 future paid DLCs which cost exactly the same as the base game. This was an unwanted capitalist gain seen by the community, and many were flamed over the seemingly money grab situation that this publisher was in. Since then, the game has been on a falling trend within the past 6 months, with both content creation and modding at an all-time low. However, there is some new hope. Within the past month, the game has seen a slight uptick in members as well as engagement in the game. Whether that be the game's release on PS5 and Xbox, or the increased exposure the game got from Saber Interactive, it's still a welcoming one. No matter the changes underway by the current publisher, it's still a great game. It implements strategy and skill into a completely destructible sandbox world. The music and details of this game are amazing and provide just the right challenge in order to satisfy your destruction needs. This may not be a game that you open up to grind on for hours, but hey, it's for sure a heck of a lot of fun to sit down and play for an hour or two, destroying at your heart's content, which is what I think makes it a great game. Hey, what's up? So thank you for watching this video. It was fun to make, and as you can see, a lot of things have happened. But hopefully I can do more of these in the future because they're pretty fun to make actually. And I just want to say thank you. Anyways, that's basically it. I'll see you in the next one.